You're lying in bed with your phone 6 inches from your face, telling yourself tomorrow will be different. The workout never happened. The dishes are still in the sink. The task you promised to finish is still open on your laptop. You already know what to do. That is what makes it sting. The room is quiet. Nobody is checking. And the easiest thing is to scroll until you feel tired enough to call the day over. Then shame walks in. So you make the same hard promise again. Stricter plan. Earlier alarm. No excuses. More pressure. That is not discipline. That is self-punishment with a calendar. Most people think discipline means force. More rules, more guilt, more anger at the person in the mirror, and from the outside. Japanese discipline can look that way too. Quiet routines, strict details, no complaining, everything controlled. But the deeper version is not about crushing yourself into obedience. It is about building a mind that still chooses well when the mood is gone. No audience, no applause, no threat. Just a small inner standard you keep returning to. 1 clean plate tonight becomes 7 clean plates this week. 10 focused minutes a day becomes 3,650 focused minutes a year. That is more than 60 hours of your life no algorithm gets to steal. Small counts. Private counts most. Discipline without force does not start with hate. It starts with one honest action, so small you cannot turn it into a life crisis. Close the laptop. Put 1 dish in the sink. Set the phone across the room. Do 1 clean thing. Because the real test is not what you do when people are watching. It is who you become when nobody can catch you. You're standing in the kitchen at 10:47 at night. 1 plate is in the sink. 1 wrapper is on the counter. Your tired brain says, leave it. Nobody cares. Or you're working from home, moving the mouse every few minutes, losing another half hour to your phone, still telling yourself you were busy. No boss, no partner, no camera, just you, the shortcut, and the private deal you make with yourself. In Japanese cultural teaching, Otento-sama is the old image of the sun watching what you do, even when no person is there to notice. Not to scare you, to wake up the witness inside you. Your character is not built when someone praises you. It is built when nobody can reward you. That is where discipline gets exposed. You can look organized in public and still leave your own life messy in private. You can answer messages fast when it protects your image, then break the small promise you made to yourself. You can tell people you are locked in, then spend the afternoon performing busyness for no one. Private shortcuts become private identity. In America, being busy can hide almost anything. That line hurts because it is true. This is not shame. Shame says you are bad. Otento-sama asks, what did you choose when it was easy not to? That question is cleaner. It does not need drama. It does not need a new app. It does not need a midnight life plan you will hate tomorrow. It only needs 1 tiny place where your private self and public self stop being 2 different people. Want self-respect. Keep 1 promise unseen. Want trust in yourself. Finish 1 small thing quietly. 1 cleaned counter tonight is 7 cleaned counters this week. 7 is not life-changing because of the counter. 7 is life-changing because your mind starts to believe you. That is the receipt, not praise, not a streak, not somebody noticing you are trying. Just the quiet feeling of closing the kitchen cabinet and knowing you did not abandon yourself in the easiest moment of the day. Wipe the counter before you leave the room. And once you feel that private standard, the next question gets sharper. What are your smallest choices quietly adding up to? You return the shopping cart, even though the parking lot is windy. You finish the last 5 minutes of work, instead of pretending the task was close enough. You tell the truth in a text, instead of polishing it until it makes you look better. No one claps for that. No one sends a message saying, "Great job being decent today." Most of the time, the reward is just a quiet room and a slightly less embarrassed version of you. That is where toku matters. In Japanese thinking, toku can mean virtue or moral merit. The useful image is simple. Every honest, helpful, disciplined action is a small deposit into an invisible account of character. Not magic luck, not guaranteed fortune. Character. Every time you do the clean thing when the lazy thing would pass, you teach yourself one sentence. I can count on me. That sentence is rare. A lot of people have achievement, attention, credentials, and a full calendar, but still do not trust themselves in a quiet room. They know the shortcuts they're carrying. American productivity rewards visible output, not private honesty. You can look successful and still know you mailed in the last 5 minutes. Toku makes the unnoticed part count, the cart pushed back into the rack, the email finished cleanly, the counter wiped at 11:18 when the house is silent. The bill paid before the late fee. The apology sent without turning it into a speech. Small choices keep receipts. One honest 5 minutes a day is 35 minutes a week. That is more than 30 hours a year of doing the thing properly when you could have faked it. 30 hours is not tiny. 30 hours is a person being trained. Want self-respect. Make one small deposit. Want discipline. Stop waiting for the dramatic version. The danger is turning toku into another weapon. Miss one deposit, and you do not empty the account. You just make the next one smaller, cleaner, and sooner. Return one thing to its place, because the person you become is not built by the promise you make when you feel inspired. It is built by what your hands do when the shortcut is available. And none of these moments look dramatic until you realize your life is made of the quiet things you kept postponing. The text is already half written in your head. Your mum's name is sitting in your messages. The friend you keep meaning to call has become a little ache you avoid. The shoes are by the door, but the walk keeps waiting for perfect weather. Nothing is technically stopping you. That is what makes it uncomfortable. Sakura is the cherry blossom mindset, shaped by Japan's Hanami tradition, where people stop to look at the blossoms because their peak beauty only lasts briefly. The point is not to be sad that things end. The point is to respect them while they are still here. The blossoms do not wait for your schedule to calm down. They bloom, they peak, then the sidewalk is covered in petals. A lot of your life works that way. Your parents get older while you are meaning to call. Your body gets stiffer while you are getting back on track. Your friendships fade while you are waiting for a good time. Your dream gets heavier while you keep making it too precious to begin. Waiting is not neutral. Sometimes waiting is fear wearing a responsible outfit. In America, we love the clean restart. Monday, January. After the move, after the busy season, after you feel ready. But Sakura does not care about your perfect reset. It asks for a smaller kind of discipline. Act while the door is still open. Not with panic, not with guilt, with attention. Discipline is not punishment. It is attention with legs. Want connection? Send the small text. Want health? Take the short walk. Want strength? Start the 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day is 70 minutes a week. That is more than 60 hours a year of not waiting for the heroic version of you to arrive. 60 hours is a different body. 60 hours is a different mood. 60 hours is proof that your life was not only something you planned. Productive people postpone feelings politely. That line hurts because it is easy to hide behind being busy. You answer emails, you pay bills, you keep the calendar alive. Then the real thing sits untouched. The person you miss, the body you live in, the life you keep saving for later. Sakura makes the choice gentler and sharper at the same time. You do not have to rebuild your life tonight. You have to stop treating every meaningful thing like it will wait forever. Send one text before dinner. And when you finally start, another problem appears. The part of you that hates being a beginner. You skip the basic fitness advice because it sounds too simple. You avoid opening your bank app because budgeting makes you feel behind. You quit practicing guitar after 10 ugly minutes because being bad in your own bedroom feels strangely personal. Somewhere in the middle of it, you say, "I already know this." That sentence is dangerous, not because you are arrogant in some dramatic way, because it lets you stay stuck without feeling like a beginner. Shoshin is the Zen idea of beginner's mind. It means staying open, humble, and willing to learn even after you have experience. Shoshin asks one clean question tonight. If you were starting from zero today, what boring basic step would you stop judging and actually do? The answer is usually embarrassing. Track spending for one day. Do the warm-up you always skip. Practice one chord slowly. Write the first sentence badly. Read the instructions again. Beginner work feels small because it removes the performance. No image to protect. No expert identity to defend. No fantasy version of you standing in the doorway, disappointed that real progress looks so plain. Starting over feels like admitting you fell behind. That is the American ego trap. You do not want the beginner step because it makes you feel late. So you chase advanced systems, expensive tools, perfect routines, long videos about becoming a different person. But the thing you are avoiding is not too simple. It is too honest. Want strength? Do the basic reps. Want money? Control. Open the bank app. Want focus? Set one timer. One focused beginner rep a day is 365 reps a year. That is 365 times you chose practice over pretending. Most people do not lose from lack of information. They lose because they refuse to be seen, even by themselves, at the starting line. Shoshin is not acting clueless. It is keeping your mind soft enough to learn from what you keep dismissing. Tonight, pick the boring basic you keep insulting. Do it for 5 minutes. And when those 5 minutes get uncomfortable, you meet the principle most people misunderstand as toughness. Your shoulders tighten during the hard set at the gym. The blank document stares back at you. Your phone buzzes beside your hand. The conversation you keep avoiding suddenly feels too awkward to touch. Your brain starts bargaining. Skip the last reps. Check one notification. Send the safe text instead of the honest one. The escape comes fast. Gammon slows that moment down. In Japanese cultural tradition, gammon means enduring what has to be endured with patience and dignity, while still changing what can be changed. Not denial, not martyrdom, not refusing help because you want to look tough. Quiet strength is not silent suffering. Americans call every pause weakness. We treat discomfort like an emergency and relief like a right. That is why a craving, a boring task, or an awkward talk can run the whole day. Gammon does not ask you to enjoy discomfort. It asks you not to obey every uncomfortable feeling immediately. The move is simple. 5 minutes. Before you quit, wait 5. Before you complain, wait 5. Before you escape into your phone, wait 5. Breathe slowly. Name the real discomfort. Choose the next useful action, not the whole plan, not a new identity, just the next action. Maybe that means 2 more reps. Maybe that means 1 ugly paragraph. Maybe that means letting the craving rise without feeding it. Maybe that means saying, I need to be honest about something, even if your stomach drops. 5 minutes a day is 35 minutes a week. That is more than 30 hours a year of practicing calm, while your old habit begs for control. 30 hours changes a person. Not because you became harder, because you stopped handing your life to the first feeling that yelled. And if the pain is real, ask for help. Text the friend. Leave the room. Book the appointment. Toughness that destroys you is not discipline. It is pride wearing work boots. Set a 5-minute timer, because discipline without force is not punishing yourself for discomfort. It is staying long enough to choose well. And even then, there will be days you fall. You miss the workout. You eat more than you meant to. You lose an hour to your phone. Then the familiar voice shows up. The streak is ruined, so why even try? Now you are standing near the laundry basket with your shoes still on. The house is quiet. The day already feels marked up in red. The dangerous part is not the missed workout. The dangerous part is the story you tell after it. One slip becomes a verdict. One bad dinner becomes a ruined week. One wasted hour becomes proof that you are just like this. That is the all or nothing trap. It sounds disciplined, but it is fragile. If perfection is the rule, one mistake gives you permission to quit. Nana korobi yaoki is the Japanese proverb that means fall 7 times, rise 8. The numbers are not math. They are a rule for the moment after shame hits. Discipline is not proven by never falling. It is proven by the next small return. Small return. same day. That line matters because your brain wants drama after failure. A new notebook, a new app, a new Monday, a new version of you who somehow never gets tired. But a dramatic comeback is usually procrastination wearing workout clothes. The real comeback is boring. One push-up on the carpet. One page with the lamp on. One dish under hot water. 1 minute with a timer running. Want strength? Do 1 push-up. Want focus? Set 1 minute. Want momentum? Wash 1 dish. 1 page a day is 365 pages a year. That is a whole stack of books built from nights when you almost quit. 1 minute a day is 365 minutes a year. That is 6 hours of returning instead of disappearing. 6 hours is not nothing. 6 hours is a person refusing to let shame drive. In America, we make failure too dramatic. We miss one habit and act like the whole identity collapsed. But a missed day is not a confession. It is just a place to put your hands back on the floor. No speech, no punishment, no promise to fix your entire life tomorrow. Just one clean motion before the night closes. Do 1 push-up. And if that sounds almost too small to matter, that is exactly why it works when the big promise fails. Do not turn these 6 principles into another huge plan you abandon by Thursday. Use one of them tonight, in the exact moment where you usually disappear. Otento-sama, do the private right thing. Toku, make 1 small deposit. Sakura, act before the moment passes. Shoshin, start basic again. Gaman, stay with discomfort for 5 minutes. Nana korobi, yaoki restart after the day goes sideways. That is enough. These are not 6 new ways to judge yourself. They are 6 handles for 1 door. Private integrity. Small deposits. Acting before life passes. Starting without ego. Enduring without pretending. Returning without drama. You do not need a new personality tonight. You need 1 clean choice before the day ends. When you are brushing your teeth, closing your laptop, looking at the sink, reaching for your phone, or lying in bed about to make another midnight promise. Pick 1 principle and practice it once. Discipline without force is not a louder alarm. It is not a harsher plan. It is not another midnight promise made from shame. It is the quiet moment when nobody is watching and you still choose the cleaner path. 1 small deposit. 1 honest restart. 1 difficult thing carried with dignity. Repeated often enough, discipline stops feeling like something you chase. It starts becoming how you move. Choose 1 principle. Practice it once tonight. And comment "Rise" if you are doing it before the day is over. Take care of yourself. Start with 1.